Day 2 in Alabama at the Pro. Look, we've leveled up. Look behind you.
I can't turn my head.
Okay, well,
because
behind
if I turn my
AJ,
head, my mic might fall off.
That's true.
But it's
Behind
right
AJ
there.
is the Pro. It's a really nice sign. It's large. Very Instagram friendly.
It is. Get your Insta photos.
AJ's request.
Scott, you need to move that way a little bit, though.
Okay, that's fine. You got
There you
it,
go.
director.
Perfect.
So we'll have
And
some
run
chats
this.
with some former ball players. You want to move my computer? Yeah, go for it.
that.
Oh, man, you
Move your gluten-free
you
water.
just knocked my mic off, but
See? That's why I don't want to turn my head.
that's how we start a show.
See?
Kratz, good to see you. We miss you.
There we
It's actually not as hot as some people warned us about.
That's okay. I'm fine at home. I don't want to hang out at the golf course with a bunch of ex-celebrity professional athletes and AJ.
You got too much sun the last few weeks. You were down the shore for 2 weeks. So we're just giving you a break inside in the air conditioning. Real quick before we start, because we're not going to have time for this, but maybe we'll get him on next week. You know who Player of the Week was in the American League?
Cal Raleigh.
Actually, no. We're going to talk about him later. Vinny Pasquantino.
Pasquatch.
Oh,
last week.
I'll see him on Saturday, so I'll make sure that he comes on.
Yeah, tell him we said hello. Last week, 6 homers in 7 games. That's good.
Yeah? Yaz?
There's
Pass?
apparently a whole storyline with Pasquantino rumored. Maybe there's articles about it. I haven't heard him on the record speak specifically to this, but we'll ask him about it, where he was working on his swing speed, and then his swing was getting his timing was off because he was too early. So then he tried to slow the swing speed down, and then that worked.
But Pasquantino, he's always been able to hit, right? Ever since he was
Yes.
probably – so he never had a problem with bat speed. So why are we now telling a guy he needs to swing faster when he's hitting the ball fine? I don't know how many homers he hit last year, but it was a fairly decent amount of homers he hit last year. It was at least in the 20s, wasn't it?
I believe so. Plus the ribbies. I mean, the overall numbers were
I think
nice.
he's doing all right. I don't know why.
And this year he's great. I mean, now he's back on track. His 798 OPS, 120 OPS plus. Last year was 114. So this is a
Jump up.
jump up from last year.
How many homers did he hit last year?
19, and he's
19.
got 28.
Yeah, he's doing fine.
28 homers.
Vinny,
But
stick
he did
with what you're
nothing
doing.
for a couple months, and then he's been one of the best hitters in baseball for the last couple months.
Stick with what you're doing, kid.
Yeah, it's working. So we'll try and get him pretty soon. But let's talk about the other team in the state of Missouri. Charge time. All right, guys, I'm going to let you run with this. We're talking about a catcher in Willson Contreras who lost his cool, got kicked out of the ball game last night, and ended up getting so heated that he tossed his bat, or chucked it, depending on how you look at things, towards the ump. It ended up hitting his hitting coach, Brant Brown, who's like, I want you to hit, not that way. And then he also went into the dugout, tossed the gum.
Well, it's not gum, it's haichu. There's a major difference. in
Whatever.
those two.
Anyway,
No, it's not whatever. That's a huge difference.
my main question is he okay? Because this is a freak out that looked like he was possessed. And he's going to get in some trouble here.
Here's my question. The pitch was a strike, first of all. Let's just say it wasn't even really borderline. It was a pretty solid strike. And what Willson said was, I said, you need to call it both ways for us. He had to have said more than that. I'm sorry. Like that's not an auto toss there. And he's not a catcher anymore. So he's fighting for his pitchers, which I like, but man, but then the question, Kratzy, is why is he throwing the bat at all? Like, even if he's throwing it at the umpire and Brant Brown's face got in the way of it, why are we throwing the bat at all? Like, has there ever been a point where you're like, I'm going to chuck my bat at the umpire? Like, unless you're Delman Young, right? I don't remember anybody ever throwing their bat at an umpire. Is this the new trend? Is this the new trend, though, with Robles throwing his bat at the pitcher and now Contreras throwing it at the umpire?
Like many trends, I would like that to stop if it's a trend. Delman Young threw it at the umpire. He was a replacement umpire. Doesn't mean he should have done it. But no, I've never wanted to throw my bat at somebody. I've seen the take your jersey off on the field, lay your bat down at the plate, and be like, well, hey, you swing. You're taking the bat out of my hands, kind of thing. But he freaked out. Sometimes I wonder, like, wait till he get in my way, kind of thing. I'm glad Ali Marmol held him back there. I don't know what he would have done. I would have loved to have known what the umpire said, but we'll never know.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Willson
matter.
Contreras, when he gets into issues, will lay out what happened afterward. Home plate umpire Derek Thomas was going back and forth with him a little bit. So I'm like, oh, maybe he said something that really got him, like something personal. From what I saw from post-game quotes, nothing there. Willson would tell you if he said something that was completely out of line or a personal attack. It seemed like he just was pissed at a called strike. That was a called strike. It was a strike. And then was pissed that he got tossed from the game. I'm like, okay, you can't do that.
No, you can't. You can't go that postal. Like you're going postal on a pitch that was a good pitch. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is. I mean, but listen, Willson Contreras has been a good player, but there's been moments like this, right, Kratz, where he's kind of just lost. We've all lost our cool as players before, but man, this one was just. This was, and then I want to know what Brant Brown said, because he's the one that took the bat to the face. What
was your intent there? You went like, I mean,
he threw it like this.
Yeah, but still, like it wasn't like
it doesn't matter.
It wasn't like a little toss in the air.
He still threw it back toward. And if you watch the replay, Brant Brown is here and the umpire's behind him, so he was throwing it at the umpire.
Yes,
he's going to get a lengthy one for this one.
If Brant Brown's not in the way, Kratz, and we're showing it again right now. If you're listening to the pod, obviously you should check this out. Kratz, what if Brant Brown is not in the way and that thing hits the ump? Even if it's lightly hitting him in the chest or the face. I mean, you threw a bat at an umpire? Is that not 20, 30 game suspension?
I mean, well, then why is Victor Robles only 10? Why is Victor Robles
he threw it at a
pitcher? Umpires are better than pitchers, and Victor Robles, his had some serious intent. Wilson's was it wasn't like a crazy toss at the umpire, but so it's a different standard.
Yes.
Different standard?
Yes.
I don't know if you're saying it to us.
I'm saying it to both. It's a different standard because they put umpires. No, I did have to say yes on the phone call, but also I said yes to the fact that, yes, there is a different standard because MLB wants the umpires to be held at a different level than something else. They need to be respected, and that's what MLB does. But my question is, I saw Victor Robles playing. He must be appealing his 10-game suspension?
Yes.
Yes. No, I know. So what are they going to be like, hey, you didn't really mean to throw it that hard at the pitcher, so you're only going to get 9 games?
It might be 8. He might get 8. You know how the appeal.
But the MLB should have gone like 20 and then said, "Oh, we're sorry, you'll get 10," right? Because if they knock it down, that's a dangerous precedent to set for throwing a bat. Dudes be like, "I need a 10-day break. I'll chuck my bat for pay for 10 days. On my hammies a little sore. I don't know."
Delman Young threw a bat.
He got 50
and got 50 games in the minor leagues. I'm pulling up the clip right now. I mean, at some point we can show it to everyone else.
That's Corky Miller catching too.
50 games.
Paul
and hey, I didn't hear anything, or we didn't see anything with bat chucking for a long time. And
Manny Machado was the last guy I can remember that threw his bat at somebody. Remember after the whole Donaldson thing?
Well, he kind of tossed it towards third, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
But he tried to throw it to the pitcher because they were throwing at him, and I think he just held on to it too long. But that'd be a Manny question.
Okay. So how many games? If you're commissioner, and
he's got to get at least 10.
This is what the commissioner role was really made for back in the day. They were like, we need to settle things like this. It wasn't always, the boss and the minion for the owners. It was, hey, let's make sure that this game is played correctly and that major issues don't occur. And one person is able to make a decision like this that knows the game really well. What should the commissioner do?
It's got to be 10 at least. It's got to be 10. You just set the precedent for throwing a bat at 10. This has got to be 10.
Okay.
Right? It's got to be
least.
10. Yeah, I'm saying well, at least that was a given part of it.
They usually protect the umps. I actually do think they protect them more than the players.
Yes.
That is a different story. But, Kratz, if he was pissed at the pitcher and went after him and got into a fight, it's different from if he's going after the ump trying to make physical contact.
I agree, but they're kind of putting that in the realm of it's in the game. Throwing a bat, Victor Robles throwing a bat at a pitcher, to me, is the same as throwing a bat at an umpire. Like, Victor Robles was more malicious. I think they're going to get the same. I think he'll get 10 games, but I think the malicious intent of Robles was definitely there.
Okay. And, the season's done for the Cardinals and all that for the most part.
Smallest crowd they've ever had.
Yeah.
At New Busch last night. Under 20,000, first time ever. 17,000 paid, which means it was less than that. That's crazy.
Don't worry. In 5 years, they'll have the next version of Roman Anthony. Who else?
What do you mean?
Chaim Bloom's taking over.
Oh, yeah. Marcelo Meyer, Christian Campbell. I mean, the whole list.
It'll take 3 years.
Jared Duran.
Yeah, it'll take a few years. Yeah.
Who else did they have? Connor Wong. He was part of the
He
Heim
did an
Bloom.
awesome
He was
job
part
building
of the
that up.
trade. Sedane, Rafaela.
Rafaela. Yeah.
Willier Abreu.
Willier Abreu was a
Abreu.
Heim Bloom guy. Yeah.
All Heim Bloom
Okay.
guys.
There you go. We will talk to Ken Rosenthal coming up in a moment and get to a bunch of topics with Ken. There's more drama to cover later on. There's a story from the weekend we didn't have time for yesterday, but I want to get to it. It's the Royce Lewis explanation on what's gone wrong with his season, and it's certainly gaining some headlines and some traction. We'll get to that later on too, but load up your questions for Kenny Ballgame. Ken Rosenthal, one of the few exclusive lucky guests that joins us remotely this week. Everyone else from the Pro in Alabama. Kratz, if you need to pay rent for your apartment and you're not getting anything for it, then you probably haven't heard of Built.
You have to pay rent every single month. Why not get some points that you can redeem for other things that are a lot more fun than paying rent, like flights, hotels, Uber rides?
That's right. And it doesn't stop there. Built is about making your entire neighborhood more rewarding. You can dine at your favorite local restaurants, and you can earn additional points with VIP treatment at certain fitness studios. And you can also enjoy exclusive experiences that are just for Built members. They announce them every month. Built is turning a monthly expense into an opportunity to earn rewards and discover the best that your neighborhood has to offer. Your rent is finally working for you, and you can earn points on rent and around your neighborhood wherever you call home by going to joinbuilt.com/foul. That's joinbilt.com/FOUL. Make sure to use our URL so they know that FT sent you. Get after it.
For next year?
Hey, we're back on. Let's read this tweet. Ron Washington said it was a quadruple bypass. That's why he's out for the rest of the season. We learned that, a couple months ago, but he'll be fully medically cleared in December, and he wants to keep managing. So he said he's eating healthier, and he quit smoking.
No way. Wash, no way.
It's hard.
What is Wash going to do all game?
Chew gum?
I guess. I don't know. I love Wash. Wash, get better. The game's better when you're involved in it. That's it.
Where are the Angels going to be, though, Kratz? I mean, that's
Same
a factor,
place.
too. Same place, but like,
they're moving.
Is Wash
They're moving to
definitely
Oakland.
invited back? He was on a 2-year contract.
So his contract's up?
I think his contract's up,
Oh.
and I mean, Perry Manasian, I think, does a nice job given the circumstances.
Yeah?
But really, then he doesn't do a nice job because the team's not good. So
No, it's not his chance.
I know it's not his decision on a lot of things, but that doesn't mean that the owner won't say and start again.
Well, that's his decision.
I love Wash. We're thinking about him. I'm just, in all seriousness, I'm like, is he definitely going to be managing the Angels? Yes or no?
I can't answer
Prediction.
that. No.
Kratz.
Yes.
They'll use the
Yes.
yes. Well, if he's not under contract, they'll use the health excuse. And who's the manager now?
Ray Montgomery.
Ray Montgomery.
I don't think
They'll
he's going
use
to
the
be
health
managing them
excuse.
either. But
Buck.
Buck. Okay.
They're going
Bless
to
you.
give him one more
Scott.
chance with this young core.
Okay. It is Inside Scoop time with FT Senior Insider Ken Rosenthal. Ken, good to see you. And I cracked open the notes column from the weekend covering the Dodgers and the Padres. I'll hand it over to you for your favorite note that you put in there, something that people should definitely know, and then it will encourage them to read the rest in The Athletic.
The column is basically a collection of notes, mostly about the new players on each team. There's a little bit about Teoscar Hernandez and the Dodgers outfield situation, but it's mostly that, the guys who are new players on both teams. And of course, the Padres have a number of new players. My favorite note in there was the difference that Ramon Laureano and Ryan O'Hearn took, or the different approaches they took in deciding whether to travel with the Orioles before the deadline. Laureano went to Chicago with the team. This was the day before the deadline, the night before, deciding or thinking in his head, hey, if I'm going to Chicago and I get traded to either coast, I'm good. Well, O'Hearn decided to stay back in Baltimore. Now, he thought maybe I'm getting traded to Boston, Milwaukee. He didn't think he would be traded to the West Coast. And of course, what happens? They both end up with the Padres. And Laureano, we talked about this on the broadcast Saturday, AJ and I. Laureano's comment to AJ Preller was, "You're nuts for doing both guys, getting both guys." And I thought that was a pretty bold thing for someone to say after just getting traded over to a new team.
Ken, we were both in San Diego this past weekend, like you said, and we got to talk to Preller. My takeaways from Preller is he just wants to win. He just wants to win. And we talked. You were there. We talked prospects. We talked pitching. We talked everything. Right. We talked foul territory. We talked Ken Rosenthal. We talked it all. To me, I like him more after talking to him. It's the first time I've ever met him. And after he said what he said about, yeah, I want to win. I want to get this done. San Diego's never won. Prospects are prospects. I mean, kind of all the stuff we've talked about. He's like, yeah, I can get 20 more prospects at the draft. I can get more guys. I mean, he just wants to win, and he's a genius. And I don't know that guy sleeps ever.
Well, that's a great point. We all wonder whether AJ Preller sleeps. And to me, what he has done in recent years, now you can look into the future and say some of those contracts are going to haunt him. That's probably true. But he has taken advantage of an industry that is pretty conservative, of rival general managers and heads of baseball operations who are reluctant to trade prospects, who operate in a cautious manner. And his operation, or his way he goes about it, is kind of the opposite of everybody else. Now, Dave Dombrowski's like that to some extent. Jerry DiPoto, of course. There are others. But no one is as extreme as AJ Preller, and he is taking advantage of everybody else's seemingly cautious approach. And it served him well. This team is right now as good as it could be, I would think. Granted, you would like to see them hit for more power. Maybe Tatis snaps out of it. He had the home run last night, ended the longest streak of his career without one. But top to bottom, their depth, it's really good. And this is several years now, not just one or two, but several years where they've been good and competitive and a World Series contender. I remember at the start of this all, when he started loading up again, 2021, whenever it was, I was thinking it's going to be difficult for him to sustain this because he keeps trading away young players. And yet, as you said, AJ, he has a way of replenishing his system, and that's because he's one of the best evaluators in the game. They continually come up with new players, and this is a tribute, as he said to us, to their scouting and player development, the people working in those departments. So the formula works for them. Now, does it end up with them winning the World Series this year? I don't know. No one knows. There is a certain amount of luck involved. But has he put this team in the best possible position to win? Yes. And does he have that city in an electric kind of mindset with regard to the club? Just look at their attendance. They're going to go over 3.4 million this year. It's going to be another club record.
All right, so maybe you already hit it by what you just said, but you talked about in fair territory a lot about rivalries. The one thing you didn't talk about, because you said right now, the best rivalry currently is the Dodgers and Padres. So if everybody believes you, I'm not saying I do or I don't, which side does it matter more to? Because you've seen the Dodgers side of it. You've seen the Padres side of it. Which side does it matter more to? Because if that's imbalanced, maybe that's not as much of a rivalry as people think. Because the Red Sox-Yankees, their rivalry is heated on both sides.
Well, a lot of Yankees and Red Sox fans took exception with me saying Padres-Dodgers was better. That's par for the course. And listen, it's a great debate. And maybe in the eyes of certain fans, it's not a great debate. But regardless, I would say right now, Erik, to answer your question, it matters more to the Padres. And even though they knocked out the Dodgers in 22, they have not won the World Series. And they still want to kind of knock off the Dodgers, slay the dragon, as I always say, and then go all the way and kind of prove themselves once and for all on equal footing. So, yes, the Dodgers, of course, want to beat the Padres and everyone else as well, but there is a hunter versus hunted kind of situation going on here, and the Padres are the hunter. And to me, it's kind of apparent in the way this whole thing has evolved this season.
Hey, Ken, the Dodgers were the other team playing in that game this weekend, the Dodgers and the Padres. And we talked to Dave Roberts a little bit about Teo and right field. What's the long-term thought on Teo and right, Mookie at short? I know they killed that pretty quickly. The Mookie is not going back to right field, but Conforto in left. When Kike comes back, Edman comes back, Kim comes back, Muncy comes back, they're going to have a roster crunch. So what do they do with Teo? Do they leave him in right field and hope he gets better?
Good question. First off, they should not move Mookie to right field, in my opinion. And I'll tell you why. Mookie is playing right now a brilliant shortstop. Really, if you watch him play, he is adapted or has adapted to that position as well as anyone possibly could. He has shown that he can play it and play it at a high level. So they are good with him at shortstop. Now, the outfield, the situation with Hernandez is this. If you play him in right, you're going to have guys going first to third. If you play him in left, you're going to have guys stretching singles into doubles. It's kind of lesser of two evils type of thing. He was not a particularly good defender last season in left during the regular season, but in the postseason was much better. So I would expect that they're going to keep him in right because he does prefer right. He believes he sees the ball better off the bat in right. And then figure out left and center between Edman and Hernandez and Kim coming back. You can do a number of things there. Now, there is some school of thought where their best defensive outfield might be Pages in right, Edman in center, Teo in left. But I don't know that they see it that way. I don't know that they see it's that much of a difference, Teo in right or left. But once these players come back, yes, it gives them a much stronger group of players to choose from in the outfield. And sure, Michael Conforto, because of all this, because of all these guys returning, his spot's going to be in jeopardy. There's no doubt about that.
These two teams are going to most likely, one of them is going to face off with the Phillies in the playoffs. Right now, the Phillies are in a good position, but the Zach Wheeler loss, how much does that affect the Phillies' playoff chances of winning? Not making the playoffs, but of winning.
Erik, if we put odds on it and ask the question, are the Phillies' chances of winning the World Series better with Zach Wheeler or without, or what are those chances? There's no question. Higher with Wheeler. The question is ultimately now, can they win the World Series without Zach Wheeler? I believe they can. I believe they can because Christopher Sanchez and Ranger Suarez and Aaron Nola, if he continues what he did in his last start, and Jesus Luzardo and even Taijuan Walker, it gives them a very good place to start in their rotation. It's not the same as it would be with Zach Wheeler. No one would question that. But given that, and given that their bullpen is much improved with Duran and David Robertson, I still like them. And we talk about hunger and desire and all that stuff, the intangibles. They've got that too because they have not won a World Series with this group. And this group is getting older. Real Muto and Schwarber are free agents. I expect they probably will re-sign both, but they know this is their time. It's not going to get any easier next year. So I would expect that the Phillies will make a strong push here. And do they have the starting pitching necessary? Well, not the way they did with Wheeler, but yes, in my opinion, they still do.
Ken, a little off the radar here. I just want to ask you this. You're from Baltimore. The Basayo contract, what does that mean for Adley Rutschman? Does that mean he's necessarily gone? Because there's people saying, oh, well, this means they've given up on Rutschman. So what does the Basayo contract mean for Adley Rutschman going forward?
First off, AJ, I'm not from Baltimore, but I worked there a long time.
Well, you're from there. You make baseball come alive, Ken. That's why.
That's right. I don't believe that Rutschman is in any trouble there or anything like that. And we do not know yet if Samuel Basayo is a bona fide major league catcher. There's a lot of questions about his defense. And also, you cannot give up on Adley Rutschman, the former number one pick in the draft, off an injury-marred season, coming off a bad second half. I know it hasn't been good, and it's been curious to me that this has happened to him. This is a player, remember, who the Orioles drafted one spot ahead of Bobby Witt Jr. So he has that pedigree. He is someone that is very much respected in the game. But at some point, like any other player, you've got to perform. The real question might be, if Rutschman isn't the guy, and if Basayo ultimately is a first baseman DH, then what do the Orioles do at catcher? But we're getting ahead of ourselves. I don't expect Adley Rutschman to be anywhere else next season. And I do expect him ultimately to be a much better player than he's shown the last year and a half.
Ken, before we let you go, how happy are you that you're not 5'7" tall right now?
I'm never happy that I'm not 5'7", AJ.
Oh,
I'd like to be
Jazz.
5'10".
I think
I'd like to be
Jazz
6
heard you
foot
say.
10.
Hey, I heard Jazz heard you say that the Yankees Red Sox wasn't the best rivalry. So then he decided to almost kill you here in the camera. Well, don't say it wasn't close, because its ball is really close to your face. Now, you weren't looking. You need to pay attention a little better. But look at that. Look at that, Ken. You don't even flinch.
AJ, it was a few feet away. Honestly, it was. And am I guilty, or have I been guilty in the past of not having my eyes on the field? Yes. There have been times I took a broken finger and 10 stitches one year because I was tweeting something. And just in the All-Star game, I'll reveal this, even though it's rather embarrassing. A foul ball came into the dugout, and Alden Gonzalez from ESPN was doing ESPN radio. And I was looking down, and Alden goes, dude, that really almost hit you. And it was a pretty screaming line drive. So, yeah, it gets dicey down there. But with that particular one, I know what it looked like. And I know there's some stuff going on with social media, but it really wasn't that close. And I did see it.
Ken, hypothetical scenario. Would you take a baseball to the body, not the head, no head injuries, right? Below the body, to break a big story that you were getting, like a big trade or something like that? Would you take the sacrifice of, a baseball to the arm, to the stomach, something like that? A spot that it's not going to kill you. It's just going to leave a significant bruise for a while.
Scott, why would I need to do that? Like, under what scenario would taking a baseball to the body result in me breaking a story?
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift getting engaged, you're breaking it, and you take one to the chops.
Oh, I see.
You're saying
I'm in the middle of a tweet?
Yeah, you're in the middle of a tweet and there's a pitch coming and you're like, hey, this just came in. This is the biggest trade or transaction of the year. I'm going to risk this pitch knowing that that pitch could smoke me. And
well, I've
you
done
could actually
that.
get hurt.
So as dumb as it is, I've done it. When I had the broken finger, I think this was in 2013. It was the final broadcast of the season. It was the Reds and the Pirates, and they were actually playing for seeding in the wild card. And that play happened in like the fourth inning. I think I was tweeting Terry Collins got extended, something like that with the Mets. And yeah, it hurt, and there was a lot of blood, and I finished the game, AJ. You should know that. I finished the game, and then after the game, this is a great story. The Reds doctor goes home. The game's in Cincinnati. They take me to the Pirates training room to get stitched up. The Pirates doctor is stitching me up, and it hurts. I mean, it's hurting pretty good. But Justin Morneau, Canadian, former hockey player, maybe one of the toughest players in the game at the time, is sitting on the training table, AJ. So I'm sitting there, basically wanting to cry like a baby and scream, but I couldn't say a word.
Oh, it's good. Thank God. Thank God. But here's what I really want to know. Who did the ball almost hit? You didn't tell the whole story. Who did the ball almost hit?
Okay,
now tell the whole story.
I will tell the whole story. This is the Jazz Chisholm play you're referring to. So the ball hit the screen over the camera well. And if it had not been a situation where there was a screen, that ball would have hit Novak Djokovic. He's sitting right there. You can't really see him. He's sitting right there. It might have caught him in the face, and we would have had a different U.S. Open. So Novak's the lucky one, really, because the screen was there. Again,
but he's tall, Ken. That's why. He's tall. He's tall.
Wait, whoa. You guys buried the lead.
Well, Ken was supposed to tell that. Ken messed up the lead. Story.
That's real news. I haven't seen that. Is that known? Is that public knowledge?
I didn't know.
It is now. Yeah, he said if you watch the replay, you can see Djokovic sitting there.
Right, but one day there is a documentary how one little screen saved the U.S. Open in 2025. I didn't know that part. I mean, that's a notable name. It's not just a famous name. It's a name that's super relevant to what's going on now in sports.
Ken, think about this. If that ball hits Djokovic, then think about how many Yankee fans are mad at Jazz. They're not only mad about the bad throw, but then he ruined the U.S. Open. So then there's worldwide fans mad at Jazz for that bad throw. So forget you, but if you do watch the replay, you can see Djokovic is sitting there, and he kind of flinches. Meanwhile, Ken just is like this, screenager.
Well, that's what I wanted to ask.
Oh.
Because some people saw that, Ken, and they were like, is Ken stone cold like that? He's just been down in the camera well so often that he just knows where the baseball's going and doesn't react. It was cool.
No,
it was worth
good.
the few minutes.
And that's like I told you, in that situation, it just wasn't that close. But as I said, again, making myself look bad. There have been situations where, I've had my head down. It's not smart. Period.
Nonchalant.
Ken, what's the worst camera well in the league? Worst camera well in the league for you?
Well, from a site perspective or just from getting into it?
Just the worst. Like, if someone asks me what's the worst place to play, I have an answer. What's the worst place? What's the best place to play?
The Mets and Padres, Citi Field and Petco Park, they are difficult camera wells actually to get into. There's not a door or anything. You got to kind of climb into them. So from that perspective, those two. Now, there was a situation once at Fenway, since we're talking about this, where I was protected. Scott, I was behind the cameraman, right? And there's a wall behind me in the camera well. And the ball off the wall and right there. And that was a mess. It was quite bloody. It turns out I didn't have a concussion, and that was a case where I was paying attention, didn't have my head down, was looking up and thought I was covered and still wasn't. So yes, it can get very dangerous down there.
Yeah.
Can you just see Ken? Yeah. Can you just see Ken trying to climb over the wall and his legs are stuck and he's like, "Somebody help me! I can't get over the wall."
I could say
Exactly.
something.
He was waiting. Yeah, he was waiting for it. But I'm glad you're okay.
I'm going to pass on the next comment.
There you go. Well, you're off the hot seat. I felt it was worth a few minutes. That was a little viral
close.
scene, and I didn't know the Djokovic part. So we sacrificed the good stuff and got into the nitty-gritty.
It's a slow time for
here.
Ken right now. It's a slow time.
This was good.
Yeah.
Ken, thank you, and we're glad you're in one piece, and we're glad Novak Djokovic is in one piece.
Absolutely. More important him. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. We'll catch you later this week. And Fair Territory, of course, later this week with Ken Rosenthal and Alana Rizzo, catching your questions live. I know I asked for questions kind of late in the segment here, so just bottle those up and bring them over to Thursday's show, and they'll rip through those questions. Coming up next, interesting quotes over the weekend from Royce Lewis that we need player perspective on from AJ and Kratz. FT fam, welcome to the world's most comfortable swimwear. For a moment, we are talking about Fair Harbor. We actually have some show and tell today. This is the liner that you're working with inside of the shorts and the bathing suits.
You know what the best part is about this, Scott?
What?
They have a lot of different options because these are clearly yours because I would never order this pattern, but
that
they
is so
great
me.
on you.
That is so me.
These are so you. Mine are a little bit more plain than this.
Yes.
But they are super comfortable. The liner, I love liner shorts. Some people don't. But these liners are better than most that I've had on, if not all of them.
Yeah,
because
this is the best liner out there.
No mesh. All of the above is perfect.
Exactly. It's really good. You got to give it a shot. Also, fun random fact, you get a new shirt. It smells really good. So head to fairharborclothing.com/FOUL and use code FOUL for 20% off your first purchase. Once again, Fair Harbor, HARBOR clothing.com/FOUL for 20% off your first purchase and use that promo code FOUL so they know FT sent you.
What?
Hey, we're back. We just got this live. The 2026 regular season schedule key dates are out. Opening night, March 25th, Yankees and Giants. March 26th, opening day for everyone else. April 15th, all 30 teams in action for Jackie Robinson Day. You've got rivalry weekend in May. Lou Gehrig Day, of course, on June 2nd. A's are hosting back-to-back series at Las Vegas Ballpark. They go from one minor league park to another.
They love those.
They do love themselves some minor league ballparks. 4th of July, all 30 teams in action. They're trying to make that more of a thing, which I believe in. 25th anniversary of 9/11 with Mets and Yankees. September 15th, all 30 teams in action for Roberto Clemente Day and Game 162, September 27th next year. That feels so early. September 27th, we'll have more September
But my
playoff
question is,
baseball
isn't there Field of Dreams game next year too? I thought we saw.
Oh, yeah.
That's not a key date, I guess?
They didn't announce it yet. I think that was
that was just people jumping the gun.
Somebody took the risk of a baseball to the gut to report on that story.
Oh.
And reported the
Are we
wrong
excited?
teams, too.
Yeah, they did the first time. Are we excited about the A's going to Vegas to play in the AAA ballpark?
No.
Vegas is. Vegas is. That place better be rocking. It
Vegas
will.
is excited about them going to play in a AAA ballpark.
At least they get some Major League Baseball there.
They get it every spring training. A team goes there.
One of these things on here has no relevance. To me, has no relevance. All of these things are awesome, momentous occasions. Crazy, that's 25 years since 9/11. A's, go to a minor league stadium to play more games. Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
That's what he said.
Did you guys see this Royce Lewis story from the weekend? I wanted to make sure we had time for this. So Royce Lewis has really struggled since August 1st of last year. He's been one of the worst hitters in baseball.
But he doesn't go into slumps. Remember he said that? Remember
Yes.
that one of the worst. I don't slump.
Like
Remember he said that?
It was a confident quote.
It was
from a really nice kid.
This is why baseball players are really good at complaining and not saying a lot of stuff, because they don't want when they're going good to go away. And then they know as soon as anything goes wrong, then people bring up quotes from the past. So I had no problem with him saying it. I love the confidence. But at the same time, now shows like you, Scott, people like you are going to bring it up.
No, I didn't bring that up. You brought that up.
Nope.
I'm bringing up the fresh stuff.
Check the tape.
It's worth listening
That's
to.
what he said.
He said he feels like he's kind of on an island and trying to figure things out on his own right now. He hasn't felt comfortable all year, and then gets into stats and how changing things could affect arbitration. He said it's also hard to make a full in-season adjustment because you can try that, and those 30 games or at-bats of trial go towards your stats. Do you really want to sacrifice that? And if it doesn't work, then you go back to what you were doing before. It's always hard. I know Michael Harris just did a significant change. Being under contract probably helps because he knows what he's making that year and the year after. For someone like me, I'm fighting to take care of myself and my family. I don't want to put any of those stats in jeopardy. I'm trying to do what's best as fast as possible, but feeling like I've been on an island, it's kind of tough. Also, I just want to note that it's not like he's done nothing. He has been working with the crew on slowing down his hands, adding length back to his swing, which is actually a combo we had earlier in the show. But take all of that and tell me how we should perceive it and how teammates and even media are perceiving what he said.
He's being honest, and we want people that are honest.
Mm-hmm.
And he's being honest because this is what, remember I talked about this last week. This is how players are looking at it. Players are more statistical driven, whether it's through their agents or through being just smarter about baseball. And they know more about this, and we've learned more about arbitration and what teams look for and what they want and how you make money. And so he's saying, I'm not willing to give up those 30 at-bats because it might cost me down the road. It's a bad look, but I can't fault him. I can't fault him for saying this. He's being honest. We want everyone to be honest. He's being honest. It's a weird look because we've never really heard anybody say it like this before. So I think that's why people are saying, whoa, what's he saying? But at the same time, if those 30 at-bats help you for the next 5 years of your career, those 30 at-bats are worth it. So it's a strange thing because we've never heard anybody say it like this.
Is he wrong? I mean, did he say anything?
I said he's not wrong. No.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. Like he's not wrong. Like this is something that every player has to deal with. Nobody ever says, "Hey, you know what? You need to make an out so that so that you can get better." No, during the times that you're making changes, there is a learning curve. Sometimes you make a change and it's usually the changes that stick and you get it bang right away. Sometimes you don't. And he probably, I'm going to go ahead and guess, never until about a year and a half ago had gone through a slump. That's why you say things like he said. He's never gone through struggles. He never hit a time to struggle. At the big leagues is a tough time to do it. The part for me where he added in a guy like Michael Harris, he has stability. He has the ability to make changes partway through a season because, his contract isn't in limbo. That's the reality. That's 95% of people in big league baseball. You do not get a guaranteed contract like Michael Harris at the time Michael Harris got it, when you're still learning to play in the big leagues. Michael Harris made the change. He knows he's not a finished product. He wanted to do better. Everybody goes through this. So for him to be like, well, maybe it was a shot at the Twins organization for not extending him. Maybe it was frustration from him. He's not doing well, so those numbers he's taking to arbitration aren't going to be that great because one of the biggest numbers in arbitration is staying on the field, and he hasn't been able to do that. And when he does do it, I think his numbers are going to go up, and he's going to start to hit more home runs and RBIs and all the good things.
There are 202 hitters with at least 450 plate appearances since August 1st of last year. Royce Lewis ranks 189th in average, 185th in OPS. So he's towards the bottom in offensive categories. Aaron Gleeman was very critical. He's been on our show frequently covering the Twins. He said, here's the thing, it hasn't worked at all. So he said, can't blame him for looking out for himself replies to this, which isn't surprising.
No, but it worked before that.
For him.
Yeah, he was like the best.
Yeah.
Like, this guy just get on the field. He's like the best player in the game.
But this is why sometimes fans in our show will be like, oh, lock him up. That's an extension guy. Although I don't remember us saying it specifically about him because of the injuries, and the Twins and many teams would have a reply of, wait and see. You're allowed to do that. You have a player under team control for 6-7 years.
Yes.
You have the right as a team,
yes,
part of the collective bargaining agreement, to let a player go year to year and make sure that he is worthy of a long-term deal. Like Kratz said, most guys don't get the extension, and it doesn't
most guys
mean
don't get
that
an extension. There's hardly very few guys that get an extension. That's why when their guys are extended, like a Basayo, like a Roman Anthony, like a Christian Campbell. That's why we talk about it so much, because it doesn't happen for everybody.
Right? They do risk analysis. Also, a lot of this factors on age. Why? Because the younger you are in free agency, the more you get paid. It is that simple. They work very strictly, every front office, on an aging curve, Kratz. So it's a very different conversation when you're talking about Roman Anthony or Samuel Basayo versus Royce Lewis, who I don't remember what his rookie season was, but it was probably 23 or something like that. And even that little difference of 2 years makes a huge difference in free agency.
Makes a huge difference. Yeah, it's 2022. He was 23 years old. It makes a huge difference. Everybody wants an extension. When I was 36, I wanted an extension. When I was 30, everybody wants that stability, but you have to be able to play through that instability of, I don't know if I'm going to stay in the big leagues, or I don't know if this swing change is going to make me an all-star or just kind of a average player in the big leagues. Those are decisions you have to make as a player, and that can be the selfish part of the game. It's a team game played by individuals.
How would teams or teammates take this? Do they care? No.
Not really. There'll be a guy or two that'll say something, but other than that, not really. Because guys know that he's right on a level. There's guys that know. Again, it goes back to what I said last week when I said guys don't want to do this or that because they know, because guys are more educated now as what to get them paid. And they were raised on this. They were raised on analytics. They were raised on these things, and agents are in their ear all the time saying, hey, you got to do this better. How many times have – I mean, I think it was Francisco Lindor or somebody. I don't know if it was him, so I could be wrong here. That said, I need to improve my defense. Or no, it was Correa. Correa, remember the one year's like, oh, I need to improve my range factor so I can make more money. So he just went out and tried to improve his range defensively because that was the way he was told he'd make more money.
A lot of guys have actually done that. Outfielders,
guys know this
stuff. A decade now have moved back because the defensive metrics were favoring you if you moved back, right? It was telling you to cover more ground behind you.
Guys now know the answers to the puzzle. The puzzle is now kind of solvable, right? It's like the Rubik's Cube that guys can go. It's kind of solvable now because there's so many years of data that they can say, all right, if you do this, it gets you paid more. And guys now know that, agents now know that, so they tell their guys, hey, this offseason you're going into your first RB, or if you really do this and improve this, you'll make $1 million or $2 million more. Guys are like, okay, well, I can do that, right? Oh, because, listen, I know this. I had hitting coaches come up to me and say, all right, we're going to give up an at-bat or 2 or 3 because I need you to do this. Like, if you take it at bat and you say, I'm going to hit a ground ball to short as a left-handed hitter, that means I'm inside the ball on top, hit a ground ball to short. Now, sometimes you'd actually get a hit. You'd hit like a missile somewhere because you're just thinking about, like, all right, get inside of it, hit down on it, boom, stay through it. And then it was like, oh, it clicks again. And you're like, oh, boom, everyone has a key, right? Mm-hmm. So whatever that key is for Royce Lewis, maybe he hasn't found it for a while, so he's searching, but he also doesn't want to give up. But it could be one at-bat, Kratz, it could be one at-bat. It didn't have to be 30 at-bats. Someone could tell you something, and I used to tell the hitting coaches all the time, just tell me something, dude. If I'm struggling, just make something up because it gets my mind thinking about something else than what I was thinking about. Oh, you're pulling your head or you're stepping in the bucket. And then I'm thinking about my feet instead of my swing. And boom, oh, wow, look at that work. You're a genius, coach.
Yep. Hitting coaches are psychologists. That's it. They're getting you to be in a right mindset so that when you do get a hit, ooh, that's what worked. Everybody's story is different. Obviously, I have more minor league stories than AJ does, but he struggled with the same things in the big leagues. Oh, I got to do this to try to keep from pulling off. In 2005, I won Player of the Month for the league in April. Now it's freaking freezing in New Hampshire. You're in AA. You're like, whoa, I'm 24 years old. This is awesome. AA, only one step away from the big leagues. AAA is the only thing I'm coming for. And the hitting coach told me, congratulations. If you want to hit in the big leagues, it'll never work. And I was like, what'll never work? It's like, your swing, it'll never work. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I listened to him. I ended up hitting 205 that year in AA. And I was like, crap, I shouldn't have listened. But it was a learning moment for me. It was learning in the sense that I have to do what I have to do to be able to have success. And that can sound selfish, or because the fact that I ended up playing until I was 40, maybe it was the smart thing to do.
It's your career, though. It's every player. This is the hardest thing for players to learn. It's your career.
But the argument from
it's your
Gleeman
career.
in that tweet and many others is you are not an average hitter right now. It's a year period where you're one of the worst in baseball.
It's his
so
career.
Shouldn't you try
it's your
something?
Career. He's probably tried a million different things that we don't know about. That's
and they did list some things that he tried.
Here's the thing. It's your career. At the end of the day, ultimately you have to make a decision. Every coach, especially in the minor leagues, wants to put their stamp on you and say, "Oh, I helped Scott Braun be a better hitter. Oh, I helped Erik Kratz be a better hitter. Oh, I helped this guy. Look at me, how much I helped him." Right? But there are also things where guys tell you stuff and it's not going to work for you, and you just go, yeah. Oh yeah, watch, I tried this, and you just do the same thing. You're like, yeah, that worked, dude. That was awesome. Thank you. Right? Not saying that's right or wrong, but at the end of the day, it's your career, and you have to make those decisions on a personal level. And there's times, listen, I have plenty of coaches that were like, hey, try this, try hitting right-handed, try being a pitcher, try playing the outfield. I'm like, no, none of that's going to work for me.
Yeah. The person that's going to care most about you is
you. Yep. And listen, you make mistakes sometimes. There are things that I look back, I said, man, if I would have tried that or that. But at the end of the day, it's on you, and it's your career, and it's your decision. Same with an agent. We talk about this with the extensions and the agents, right? The agent, at the end of the day, agents work for the players. Although sometimes agents think that the player works for them. But if the team comes to you and you want to, and you're happy with the extension or you're happy with the thing, then take it. Because at the end of the day, it's not about the agent; it's about you. And even if the agent says you can make more, you know what? I'm happy with whatever I got, and whatever. If I left money on the table, oh well, I made the decision for me and my family, not for my agent and his family. So,
yep. Ask Matt Dominguez that. People haven't heard of him, don't remember him. Some guys
I remember him, but what happened? Oh, because he turned down money.
Some guys turned down extensions. Yeah, when the Astros were giving out all those small extensions, he turned one down. Never made that much money. He regrets it because at the time he was like, I thought I could make more. I think he had just hit 20 homers in the big leagues in a shortened season. 21 homers, yeah. 21 homers. He's like, I can do that for like the next 3 years. That'll be easy. It doesn't always work out. It is your career. Nobody's stopping games because somebody's not doing well. You're going to play again. Every team's going to play 162 the next year.
One other quote. Sorry, I'm getting wrecked by ants right now. Did you guys see Mookie Betts on the bite back about right field?
No. What did he say? It's not happening? Oh, making stuff up. Yeah,
which is fine. But he said people are making stuff up. Somebody's in there trying to be the first to report a story of their own. That's completely false. I go in there to talk with Dave Roberts. Me and Doc have this mentor, father-son relationship. I talk to him all the time about my swing and how it's coming along and this and that and the other. So somebody in there was just kind of guessing and making stuff up. So whoever made that up, you need to be careful with what you're reporting. I was in there talking about my swing and how it's coming along. That has nothing to do with going back to right field. There was even more there that got even juicier.
Yeah.
Just saying, like, media watch it. Remember, the meeting last week between him.
Yeah,
and
I
Doc
remember the
and
meeting.
Friedman.
I don't know. We don't know what was said. I appreciate them not saying what was said in the meeting, so Mookie can say whatever he wants. But if the Dodgers are doing their due diligence, then they have to ask Mookie about possibly doing that just to see if it makes their team better than they probably came up. But I don't know. We don't know that. We weren't in the meeting, and that's fine.
You can't.
We weren't there.
We
weren't there.
I have a hard time believing it's never discussed. We weren't in the meeting. We don't know. Maybe it wasn't discussed in that moment. But teams have algorithms that have a value for every player on their 26-man roster and the guys on their 40-man roster. Plugging it in to play against a certain team, I have a hard time believing in a game Miguel Rojas at shortstop and Mookie Betts in right field and Teoscar in left isn't a higher value through their algorithm than the current lineup. But I don't know.
The other quote, I understand reporters have to do their job, but you don't have to spread lies. You don't have to make stuff up, especially because I'm a very open and honest person. Just come talk to me and ask me. I don't appreciate things being made up, but it kind of is what it is. You know, originally, the LA Times reporter who reported that there was a meeting, I don't think, and that's what this story said, actually listed what was going on. Of course, he wasn't in the meeting. He just said there was a meeting, and then it took on a life of its own because people are like, okay, Teoscar just had a bad game. Mookie's talking to some bosses. I think that it will at least come up in the conversation. Not a crazy thought there. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Also, this is the fun part of sports. We should be discussing that. Should he be in right field? This is fun.
Is what happens.
This is what
talk. Happens. I agree.
No big deal. All good.
Yeah.
And yes, Mookie's really nice, and he is, for the most part, one of the more open players in the game. But, for example, there was an incident this year, I think, with the Padres and Dodgers, one of the series earlier, where there was beanball, and he was like, yeah, I'm not talking about that. So we're not sitting down and getting our tell-all conversations from everyone.
No.
I think sometimes we get to mid-August, the season's long, and it's the media's fault. Do you feel that way sometimes? Where suddenly things are like, oh, I hate the media saying this and that. I'm like, that's a stretch.
I don't know. Whatever. Listen, whatever. The Mookie stood up for himself, stood up for his guys.
Yeah.
Good teammate.
Our baseball media, I mean, and obviously I love our show. We're talking about topics like this. Could be worse. In the NFL, they're talking about like a third or fourth string quarterback, and it's all the rage, right? For most of the conversation that I've seen over the past week. So I feel like we have our head on straight a little more than most. Anyway, we're here at the Pro. Lots of legends to talk to. Let's get to Mark Mulder next on FT. Okay, KP, this is your first Arena Club experience. We're going to open a slab pack together. So first off, we're going to buy one of those $25 slab packs, and we get to see what is in the pack. There it is. The Grail, which is the best card in the pack and worth the most. There are some other cards that we're chasing, and you can see the entire lineup so that you know what you're in the running for. There's the Yamamoto signed card. Now, let's open up our pack and see how we do. We have ourselves a really cool graphic, and then a Shohei Ohtani 50-50 card from last year. What do you want to do? Should we sell it right back to them for 16, or should we keep it?
You should give it to me. I'll keep it.
Good answer. Fine, I will give it to you. Since the Blue Jays didn't get Ohtani, you can get this 50-50 card instead. Use the code FOUL, F-O-U-L, to get yourself 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase. Yes, you get to keep that card if you want it. They send it to you. FOUL at arenaclub.com/foul. What's up? You see this average MLB four-seam fastball velo by season? Look at righties. They're at 95 miles an hour. That's the average. Mm-hmm. So if you're like, oh, I throw 95. You're like, cool. You're an average big leaguer. Average. We officially hit that number.
Okay. Okay. Cool. When Mark Mulder comes on next, I want you to listen to what he says.
Okay. We'll talk velo.
And then, he gets into some velo talk about it.
Now, if you're a lefty and you throw 90 poo.
But I also watched Jason Alexander go out against the Orioles and shove. Nestor Cortez shoved it up the Dodgers for 6 innings with one hit, throwing 91 miles an hour. So, like, it's not always about the velo. Velo is great and velo is wonderful, but the easiest commodity to find in baseball right now, velocity.
Mm-hmm. And anyway, Kratz, I'd be like, hey, you're bringing our average velo down.
I love it that they went to throwing harder. If everybody went to the Bronson Arroyo look from 2010 on, my career would have ended real quick. But nobody knew how to teach. Everybody knows how to teach velo, so that helped me out. You can hit a fastball.
There you go. It just points to where we're at from a sport perspective on how hard guys are throwing and why the arm injury epidemic continues. It is fun to watch Heat, though. I will say.
It's great.
Like, when we get to the playoffs, we're going to be like, oh, Duran, Mason Miller, they come in the 8th and they got him out of the jam. They went 5 outs. It's entertaining.
Yep.
Dangerous. Two-time All-Star Mark Mulder is here. Mark, good to see you.
Yeah, thanks for
How's
having
everything going?
Everything's great. We have beautiful weather. I mean, I know there was some worry about rain for this week, but it doesn't look like we're going to have it, and we got a great group of guys.
Yeah, it's great weather. How much are you following baseball these days?
Not that much, because 4 o'clock Arizona time, 3 o'clock when my kids get out of school is the rat race starts.
Mm-hmm.
So my kids have sports, my daughter has dance, stuff like that. So it's kind of hard until I sit down, maybe after dinner, turn on one of the channels, see what game is on. I might catch a little bit of it, but I don't catch enough to be educated on it.
Mm-hmm. Are you seeing the way that guys, are picking up pitches like it's nothing these days? Like, have you seen how it's a whole thing in spring training and everybody tests out, 1, 2, 3 pitches and make those changes? I felt like, and it's not like you played that long ago, but when you did that, it was a huge deal. It'd be like a couple guys we'd cover for the whole year.
Sure. It's just, I don't know, man. It's a different, I don't want to sound like the old guy. It's just a different game. I mean, everything is maxed out. There's no, I'm going to try to pitch into the 7th, 8th, 9th inning. It's just throw it at every pitch, fastball, slider as hard as you can. Every hitter's trying to go deep, hit the ball as hard as they can every single time. They're not worried about strikeouts. They're not worried about putting the ball in play. And I'm not saying that you need to. I'm just saying it's just a very different game. And when I watch, it's sort of frustrating watching the game because I get frustrated watching these pitchers who throw 100, who constantly think they have to throw sliders. But it's because they don't command their fastball that they have to rely on their breaking ball, and they get beat then when they fall behind and have to throw a fastball. And as AJ knows, when 100's coming, any good hitter's going to hit it. I don't care how hard you throw. If a guy knows it's coming, he's going to be on it. And it's just hard.
But you guys relied more on movement and location, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have thrown probably 100 back when you came up, when you came out of Michigan State. I mean, you probably could have hit close to 100.
If I tried to throw as hard as I could all the time to train for it, yeah.
But you wouldn't have been as good probably because you wouldn't have thrown that sinker in on my hands every freaking time and broke my bat. So, I would have rather had you doing that than running the sinker in. But what I think, Scott, and I also want to know, though, is like if you had the TrackMan, right, that they have now, and you could say, like, oh, move your hand this much or do this, right, to make the ball do. Yeah. Would that have helped or hurt you? Because you come across, and from when I've talked to you, more of like a feel guy. Like, I don't need to feel it.
Yeah.
But every guy now throws a bullpen, and they go, and then they turn around and look at the iPad, and they're like, oh, if I just make a little adjustment, I can. Would you think you would have been that guy?
I think I probably, absolutely, I would have tinkered with it. I would have wanted to have known what made my sinker what it was, or what made your breaking ball what it is, or your split, or, how can you improve those pitches? But yeah, I think there could have been a part where you get a little obsessed with it, where you're trying to do something that maybe your body just doesn't do. I used to joke with people every time one of our catchers wanted an elevated fastball, I'd throw something neck high to change the eye level for the hitter, and they'd whack a single the other way. And I'm like, I don't ever throw a pitch up there. How'd you just hit that? But that's not where I threw a baseball. I couldn't throw up there. So no matter how many balls I threw down in the zone, throwing something up did me no good. And so I never had an understanding. I always thought to have a sinker, you must have had a high spin rate. That's how stupid I was. Then somebody educated tells you, no, you actually didn't have much spin. That's why it did that. Oh, all right. So that makes me wonder how much I would have, what do I need to do to create more spin? Well, then that might have ruined my sinker. That might have there's a lot of ifs when it comes to that stuff. But for me personally, I'm just glad I didn't play at that time where I had that kind of stuff to worry about.
All right, so you made your debut over 25 years ago. Not to make you feel old, but you said, oh man, I don't want to be one of these guys who's looking at the game and it's different. What about 25 years before you? What were they looking at you at 22 years old and saying, oh man, if I was 6'6", I could have done this? Or what, how was it? How did you guys in your time revolutionize it like they are right now?
I don't think we were as different. I want to say most of the guys that I've talked to who, let's say, played in the 70s or 80s, they used to make tons of comments to us about our contracts, about what we were making, as opposed to the pitching stuff. Or they would make comments to me when I would sit in the dugout with Bob Gibson when I was with St. Louis. Gibby, or he used to make more comments about why we don't drill more guys and knock more guys down and pitch more that way. And he'd call us certain names for why we didn't do more of that. So, I think every generation, or whatever you want to call it, has their certain things that they don't like about that next generation, or that frustrates them a little bit. But, those were some of my favorite days, sitting in the dugout with Gibson, sitting there, and it was me and Chris Carpenter and a few guys, and he'd sit there, and some young kid would come in for the Marlins or whoever we're playing, and he'd be like, oh, this kid has no chance. We're looking at him like, what do you mean? This is like one of their first rounders. Sure enough, 3 years later, the kid's out of baseball. And you're just like, all right, he saw something that was important. I'm not sure what, but it was always interesting sitting with guys like him.
Mm-hmm. Hey, I want to ask you about the A's. So you played at the Coliseum, and sometimes conditions were rugged, right? But did you ever think that now you'd be watching a team that's going to be playing in a minor league park now for the whole season here just now, and then a few more to go?
Yeah. I mean, at least they broke ground in Vegas.
Yeah.
Because I'd heard from some A's people that if it didn't happen by June or July, they were going to really be concerned. Listen, this is Major League Baseball, and we have two teams playing in AAA stadiums. I get it, the Rays thing is different, but it's just uncalled for. It's awful. I mean, I remember in 02 or 03 with Oakland, we were supposed to have a new stadium in a few years. That was the whole talk then, and here we are. You have one person protest in the Bay Area, and they cancel the whole thing. So it's just a sad situation. I mean, when you lose an In-N-Out that's across the street from the stadium, you're doing something wrong. That whole, no families were going to take the BART train in to watch games. It's not safe. The whole area is awful, and that's a city problem. They don't deserve a team to be there, in all fairness. So I'm not surprised by it at all, but it makes me incredibly sad because they've lost the Warriors, the Raiders, and now the A's. And because of that area is just going to get worse and worse. So it's just a sad situation, and it's sad that Major League Baseball even let it get to here.
You can't argue. All right, so are you an A's fan or a Cardinals fan? Which one do you consider yourself?
I'd probably say, I was a Cardinal fan for more years just because Yachty and Wainwright were still playing. Those were kind of my last two hang-ons from my career that were still in the game. So it became, once I was done, it became you're just pulling for your buddies.
Yeah.
You want to see them well. You want to see them play well. I didn't care who they were with or that kind of stuff. I mean, sadly, growing up on the south side of Chicago, I still do check and see how the White Sox do. It's
that's not very good either lately, but it's just better.
It is. It's just a thing. I mean, when we lost in the championship series in 2004, and I lost that final game with St. Louis, that was the hardest thing for me because I wanted to play the White Sox. That was my hometown, and that was my hometown team, and that was a tough one. 4-5, sorry.
Yeah, correct yourself.
Yes,
otherwise people would say, 05.
So,
you don't want any of that smoke.
So that was the
you didn't want any of that
one.
It would have ended like 02. Okay?
Yes, but with JD over there and things like that, it was something I wanted to be a part of.
All right, so you mentioned Oakland's fans. Did you see what the attendance was in St. Louis last night? It was the first time they had under 20,000 people at a game at New Busch.
So I knew that it has been getting worse, but I didn't know it was like that.
Last night was the first time I think they've had under 20,000 people at New Busch. Did you ever because I played for the Cardinals
I never could have
for a little
imagined
while.
that.
I never would have thought it would be like that.
They live and die with that stuff. That city it's one of the baseball crazy cities. And I never would have imagined that. I mean, I have seen that their attendance has been down, but I didn't know it was like that.
All right, golf game. Let's finish with that. Where are we at right now?
It's all right, but it's the same thing. It's who's going to make more putts. It's not going to play it all that long. There's a large handful of us that can all win this thing. There's probably 10, 12 guys that I think really legitimately have a chance. So who's going to make more putts on these grainy Bermuda greens? And because birdies win, so you got to avoid double bogeys and make as many birdies as possible. You can make bogeys, but the double bogeys are where the minus points are. So you got to try and avoid those. So you start getting the putter hot, and hopefully here on the last day I'll have a chance.
Who's the favorite? Marty?
I would probably say Pavelski or Marty. If you had a betting line, they'd probably be the two favorites. But just like any other year in any of these tournaments that we do, you get hot, and anybody's got a shot.
You're in the big group now. You're with Marty, Smoltz, Pavelski, and Mulder.
Yeah,
those are like the favorites, right?
Sort of.
First group off. You know, the big TV.
Well, we
group.
We can hopefully set the tone.
Okay.
We start throwing in a bunch. We start throwing in a bunch. You make everybody behind you a little nervous, but we're all amateurs for a reason. We can all have some rough days when they roll around. So you're just trying to avoid those big numbers.
Is there anything to, like, when you guys were starting pitchers and one guy would get rolling and the next guy wanted to follow? So if you're playing with those four and one of them gets rolling, even if it's you get rolling, do you think the other three can catch that momentum and go with you?
In golf, I think, sometimes that vibe in your group is a big part of it.
You're going to be playing music and do it because Smoltz.
Oh yeah, somebody will.
You don't think
somebody
Smoltz
will have
get a little angry if you guys start pumping music?
My phone will have something playing.
Okay,
but I'm also in the cart with Pavelski, so Smoltz will be with Marty. But I don't care.
That's fine.
That's his problem to deal with. There was nothing on the paperwork that said no music, so let's put it that way.
Exactly.
If he wants he's a commish. If he wants no music, he better put it in the paperwork.
Right. And hey, this already started, so it would have to be for the next tournament. All right, Kratz, you got last one.
All right, one of the competitors that's not at this tournament, your son. Does he beat you in this round today?
Yes, my son would definitely beat me. We have a college visit, his final college visit next week. Make a decision where he's going to go play golf after that. And I still beat him from time to time, just when he plays really poorly. So I started putting the date in my phone of when I beat him, where it is, and the score. Because I had a buddy whose son played professionally who told me, he's like, listen, the day of your final victory is coming sooner than later. So you better try and remember it and put it down. So I keep a note in my phone so that I'll have it forever.
What are the options?
Santa Clara, Marquette, Ole Miss, UCLA. So we'll see.
None of those are bad choices.
No, they're all very different.
They're all different spots.
Very different parts of the country.
Cold weather, warm weather.
Yeah.
South, north, west. Yeah, crazy.
Well,
by the way, you guys have all changed. I told some of the other guys earlier, you guys are in carts now. What happened? You guys used to all walk? Now you guys get carts? It's because Smoltz had
Smoltz, he had the hips replaced, and he wants to play in under 4 hours. That's his whole goal. So we're probably going to play the front nine in 3:40, and then the back nine will catch up to everybody going off 10. And he'll be mad. It'll be 4.5 hours or 2.5 hours on the back, and he'll get pissed.
Pace of play.
Exactly.
Keep
it up
these days. Yeah. Well, good luck.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Better than box scores. Let's go over recent games. The Mets and the Phillies this week, and we have to go right to our reporter in Pennsylvania, Erik Kratz, for the results of that one. Kratz, how'd it go?
After the third inning, it went very heavily to the Mets, and it may have been the last game that Jordan Romano pitches for the Phillies. It definitely showed that the Phillies are a team, if they're going to succeed in the playoffs, they have to have everything line up exactly right, in the sense that their offense has to be clicking early to be able to give it over to the bullpen, because they don't necessarily have the bullpen that can keep you in like a 2-run game. It's going to be an offensive team, I think, in the playoffs that gets great starting pitching and your 2 pieces, 3 pieces at the back of the bullpen. It's not as deep as like a Padres team, but last night got ugly quick. But Luis Torrens filling in for the Mets, filling in for Francisco Alvarez, who supposedly, I think, is starting a rehab assignment. I mean, what a night. He was clearly going to right center field the entire night and ended up with 5 stakes, big 3-run jack to put the game out of control. It was the Luis Torrens game.
Yeah, Vientos has been fired for the Mets for a few days now. They got to Christopher Sanchez, who's a top 3 Cy Young guy this year, 6 runs, 5 earned. And after the 10 unanswered runs from the Mets and a big win, or were they down 3-0, the Mets?
Yeah.
13 unanswered.
Yeah.
Because they won 13-3. Yeah, I will bring this question up, and I know it's one game, AJ. Did the Phillies do enough, or should they have added one more bullpen piece? They added David Robertson.
Everybody wants to add
Durant.
people.
But the Padres did over the last 2 years. They've had like 4 closers. And it is helpful.
It's over a long period of time, though.
Sure.
And I don't know. I think Dombrowski wasn't counting on the Wheeler thing going down. I think their bullpen he thought was set once they're getting Alvarado back. Yes, he won't be available for the playoffs, but Duran at the back end, some of the other guys, Robertson's been great since he's come over. So I don't know. It's one game. You guys are overreacting. Just because Kratz is a fan and he's mad because it's one game doesn't mean, Scott, you should overreact to one game too.
Why?
Here's my non-overreaction. The Phillies have lost 8 of the last 9 in Citi Field. Maybe the Phillies don't want to see the Mets in the playoffs. Just saying.
Well, they lost him last year. And Lindor went 0 for 6 last night. And Lindor went 0 for 6 last night, and they still scored 13.
That's impressive.
8 of the last 9 in Citi Field it's a problem for the Phillies.
By the way, Scott is just getting eaten up with bugs, by the way. Just getting eaten. If you see him
and not one is touching you.
Everywhere. No. Not one.
So
I haven't had one bug on me. I had one. You know what? I've had one bug on me. It was a love bug. So, because I'm full of love.
And I'm full of
so
West Nile,
basically,
which I got a few
you're
years ago.
Fausto Carmona. You're Fausto Carmona, and he's Java Chamberlain.
Yep. I'm Roberto Hernandez, and he's Joba
Midges
Chamberlain.
attack me. T-shirts available at foulterritoryshop.com.
It's because I eat gluten and dairy. They don't like me.
True. Jordan Romano.
And by the way, can I just say, I know
Here we
we're
go.
so far
Here we
off
go.
topic.
People are going to catch this clip later and be
care.
like, what
Don't
are
care
we
what
doing?
other people think. By the way, Scott said he's allergic to onions, okay? There's also someone else here that's allergic to apples, carrots, and any vegetable, which is not a thing.
Breaking
is
news.
this a
AJ
thing?
doesn't believe in allergies.
No, I believe in allergies.
He's
I just
going
don't
to
believe
test it
in.
at the hospital.
I don't believe that you're
if
allergic.
you have an allergy.
No, said nobody ever has been allergic to an onion.
Mm-hmm.
An
If
onion.
you have an allergy to a fruit or a vegetable, AJ, this is all fake. Don't sue us.
No,
AJ is going to go to a hospital and bring everyone in, and they're going to test them one by one and see who lives and who dies. Just testing fruits and vegetables. Anyway,
I don't know. Kratz, have you ever heard of anybody being allergic to a carrot?
Carrots, no. Root
Yeah,
vegetables,
I'm
yes.
not allergic to carrots, but we have someone who's part of our team who's allergic to apples, and I have heard of apples from others.
If you eat the seeds, you're probably in trouble, but not the apple
What
itself.
about the stem?
I don't know. I've never tried.
Anyway, are the Phillies allergic to Jordan Romano for the rest of the season?
That's
Should
the
they cut
question.
him? He's got an 8.23 ERA in 42 2/3 innings. It's August, almost September.
Yeah, I don't.
Kratz, help us out
Yeah,
here.
probably.
It's almost September.
Yeah, probably time.
I feel like it's time. I never want to condone cutting somebody, but they've given him over 40 innings. That is a crazy amount. And I heard Topper talk the other day. Rob Thompson was talking about it, and he said, really lately, it's been a lot of one pitch, unlucky mistakes, and then he makes one pitch that is left in the middle of the plate. Yeah, that's what happens. He's getting behind in the count. He's throwing that slider that used to be that gyro slider that was more like a curveball but spun like a slider, and it doesn't have the depth. So not only is it starting off the plate and staying off the plate, but then when it's on the plate, it's not breaking down like it used to. And it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean his career's over. It just means you hope there's somebody in AAA, maybe an Andrew Painter, who can adjust as go from starting and throwing the pen for these guys. They need somebody to step up. Jordan Romano was never, since May, he wasn't going to be a piece for the playoff roster. But you're still talking about trying to get through these innings, and it can't be Joe Ross every night.
Agreed. It might just be time. Maybe he goes to the offseason, goes to a place and figures some stuff out and comes back next year better than ever. Who knows?
Phillies fans wanted Taijuan Walker gone, but he was on a multi-year contract. Jordan Romano
Taijuan
is
Walker's
not.
been very valuable for him
That's
this
my
year.
point. They wanted him off the team in last year in June or something like that, right?
Different.
Kratz? And they held on.
Different
because he was on a multi-year
Jordan
contract.
Jordan Romano's eating one inning. Taijuan Walker, even on the big contract, I think it's $25 million. I think he got 3 years, 75. He's eating 3 innings in a bad start. He's eating 4 innings. You need to build your team with more than just 5 starters. Some teams are running into that, and now they're down to 3. Phillies lost Nola for a majority of the year. Now they lost Wheeler. Nola's back. You need to still be able to buy innings. And Taijuan Walker can give you more innings. That's why I said don't get rid of him yet. Now Taijuan Walker's thrown himself should be in the mix to be on the playoff roster.
One more thing from this game, and again, props to the Mets offense. Great start for them, and they need these games much more than the Phillies do, by the way, because the Reds are right behind them. They had to delay this game for 19 minutes. Was it 19 minutes? Whatever it was double-digit minutes, 10, 15, 20 minutes. Alec Bohm pointing to the outfield to a microphone. There it is, clear microphone that's next to the stands that he felt shouldn't be there. Turns out it's been there for years.
Yeah.
Who is it, Kratz, on the post game for the Phillies? Ricky Batalico, who always sounds off. Was that who it was that went after Bohm and the Phils?
It was either Ricky or Michael Barkan.
I think it was Batalico. So Whose side are you on for this one? If there's something that's been there for years, it's a parabolic mic that probably picks up extra sound for something, and it's in the batter's eye, but all the way to the right near the stands. Should the opposition be complaining about it?
Yes, because maybe they have a guy on their team that his arm slot is perfectly right in front of that parabolic mic, as you said it. Like, yes, just they should say something about it. Like, it's a microphone. Like, I think it's something that should be moved, but probably before you hit into a ground ball double play. That's my thing.
So
like,
hold
it's
on, let
something
me
that
just
can
get
be
this straight.
moved. Move it.
Let me get this straight. So the guy in the white T-shirt that's a 2 foot to the left of that microphone is okay, but that one little mic that's clear and I guess you could see it. I don't know. Is affecting the hitting? I'm just asking.
What if for the playoffs, if these two teams meet up, they have everyone in the outfield wear white shirts, and then they flip them when the Mets are up?
Home field advantage.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was a guy in 2 feet closer than me and Scott away that was in a white shirt. That didn't affect, but the little circle mic.
So if a teammate, and you're a more senior member of the team at the time, let's just hypothetical this, complains about that, what would you say to the teammate?
I'm not going to say that on the air.
I'll say it. I can't stand when guys come back to the dugout and be like, I can't see the sun. And so you go up to the dugout and you're like, where's the sun at? Like, I'm trying to look. Like, there's a lot of things that can get in the way, but I don't know. It's partway through the game too. It's been in Citi Field for years, so. Hey,
What's Outboom hit? What's his career numbers? That's the question. What's his career numbers at Citi Field?
Oh, you think they're bad, and then he's like,
no, I don't know. I'm just asking.
Something?
Maybe I don't know. Maybe whoever he was facing, he has bad numbers against.
True. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Look it up.
I don't know. It was a weird thing to complain about.
Yeah, that's why it was brought up.
I know. Was it 20
the
minutes
Phillies
delay?
post-game show. It's like, I don't know if we're doing that.
It's
taking a delay off.
Yeah.
A game that's trying to speed up. It's
Yeah.
one thing if it's something new, right? Hey, we just put that out there. But if it's there for years, it's not the first time the Phillies have been there with that. So
true.
Maybe we'll ask Alec about it at some point. Probably not. All right, coming up next, Whit Merrifield. We're going to ask him about the Phillies and the Blue Jays, his two most recent former teams. So there's a new legend in Milwaukee, and his name is Abner Uribe. He plays beer pong with the fans. He does a little fang to the dugout, and Jose Quintana was mimicking it yesterday. He's becoming the it thing in the bullpen lately. Seems like a fun dude. I mean, that's fun. You take the golf cart out. You would definitely do that.
They do this a lot in Milwaukee. Kratz knows. I don't know if they did it when Kratz was there, but they take the guys out to meet the people because the people in Milwaukee tailgate starting super early. So every once in a while, they'll take some players out there to hang out with them. It's really awesome what they do. And Uribe's having a hell of a year. If you haven't seen his numbers, he probably should have been in the All-Star game. But just check out his numbers.
He's their best reliever, right?
He's incredible. And
you see
there was a hunter with Super Sync. And who did he try to fight last year? He tried to fight somebody last year, which I always
He does
like.
the little –
There's kind of a Conor McGregor
happy thing. That's Jose Quintana yesterday mimicking him.
Yeah. But, yeah, this is awesome. They go out there. You get to go out there and meet with the fans and hang out. It's a cool thing the Brewers do.
Mm-hmm.
I like it because the fans are there early in Milwaukee. If you ain't never been to a Brewers game, don't go to the game. Just get there 4 hours early and go to the tailgates and eat the brats and the sausages and drink some beers and line in Kugel summer shanties and hang out.
And go to the game because they're good.
Go to the game too. The Brewers
experience.
are good, but it's mandatory. You got to get there early.
It's a good parking lot. Now everybody talks about every team wants to get the battery and this and that. They don't have that there. They have community togetherness. Everybody comes and tailgates. You have a great time. I love it that the players go out there now and they get the GoPro going, different guys. Willie Adames the other year threw a shirt at somebody and it like went into their car. It was like a perfect throw. Like everybody, they love it. And it's a unique town to play in because you couldn't do the stuff that they do in Milwaukee in some of these big markets. And maybe that's kind of what fuels this team a little bit.
It's a fun vibe. And a great job by the marketing
Yes.
department to take the guys out to do that.
Yes. Great job.
Yeah. How long does that take? 15 minutes?
Yeah.
You guys are at the park for a long time. You can pull that off.
Yes.
Everybody
Everybody loves it.
Once in a while.
Players
yes.
like it.
Yeah. That was cool. It's just a unique fan interaction and really cool experience for fans that are getting to the ballpark nice and early, really taking their entire day to go to the field. All right, we're swinging right back with Whit. Three-time All-Star, former Major Leaguer, current media member, and hopeful pro golfer, Whit Merrifield is here. How does that sound?
Great.
Yeah?
Awesome.
You're used to it?
I love it. It's got a good ring to it.
Mhm.
Which part's the best?
The last part.
Almost pro golfer?
Hopeful. Yeah.
You just count as
Hopeful.
professional golf?
It's the pro.
It's true, but does it
It's the
count?
same- it's
Does
in the
this
name.
this doesn't ruin your amateur status,
Yeah.
does it?
You had to sign a form last night if you wanted to keep
So
your
you
amateur
can't
status.
play in the USAM anymore?
Correct.
Ooh.
Yeah. Everyone let out a sigh of relief when they heard that.
What was the kid who won? He was like 16 years old that won this year. He was real worried.
Yeah, he was.
He called me last night. I was like, man, Whit signed that form. My title is safe.
Hey, ball talk for a few minutes first. So what do you think about the Blue Jays and your boy George Springer having a year?
Yeah, Unk's killing it. He's doing great. I mean, I get so frustrated with people when they talk about the age thing, like because everyone ages differently. Just because he had a tough year, or for him a tough last 2 years, doesn't mean that it's his age catching up. The baseball's so volatile. There could be a number of things going on. He had a bad elbow injury that he was coming back from, which a lot of times puts you in sort of bad habits with your swing. And when you're a good player like him, it just takes a minute to refine it. And once it clicks for you, I mean, he's going off. So he's playing great. The Blue Jays are playing great. They're a fun team. The city's behind them. The country's behind them. It's rocking in the Rogers Center, and it's going to be exciting as the fall gets here.
Can they do it? Can they do that? I think everyone looks at it and says, are the Blue Jays one for real? Because a lot of people don't know a lot about they know Vlad, and they know maybe Bo a little bit, but they don't know about the rest of the guys. So can the Blue Jays go 92, 93 and win the whole thing?
They definitely can. I mean, seriously, they can. They're going to need a couple guys in the bullpen to step up. Their starting pitching is phenomenal. Maybe the best in the league now that they got Bieber back, looking like vintage Bieber. And you need some guys in the bullpen like a Louis Varland. Hoffy's he's had some really good stretches and then a couple games that haven't been so good. And if he can just bottle those good stretches and be a shutdown closer that he is, pair with a guy like Louis Varland and some guys that can come in and make you look silly, I think they really do have a chance.
All right, you're just off the field. The rhetoric right now is any team right now that makes it to the playoffs can't win the World Series without hitting dingers. But then when the team doesn't win the World Series because they're striking out so much and they're not hitting and they're only hitting dingers, then it's like, well, they strike out too much. Do you believe in this game right now, because neither me or AJ have played in the last 5 years, you can win the World Series without hitting dingers?
Yeah, I mean, Kansas City did it in 2015.
Yeah, that was forever ago.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like forever ago, though, I forget that it's 2025. But, when someone doesn't win the World Series, it's because something didn't go as good as the other teams. They either didn't score enough runs, they didn't pitch as well, they didn't put as many balls in play. So anyone that doesn't win, obviously something didn't happen to keep them from winning. So you can always point fingers, you can always say things, but it's sports, it's you got to do everything right at the right time if you want to win a championship, and that's no different than basketball. Oh, we didn't make enough threes. Well, yeah, because the other team made more, and it's just part of it, and people just like to complain. And
now that you're a media member, you'll get used to complaining because you have the double whammy. You played baseball and you're a media member, so you're great at complaining. Both of those are great jobs at complaining.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to teach you some.
Okay.
If you don't score enough runs and the other team scores more, you lose like every
Every
game.
time.
So just
Every
keep
time.
that in mind.
Yeah.
Just keep that in mind.
Yep.
going forward that if you don't score enough runs, you usually don't win.
At least 90% of the games, if you don't score enough,
right.
you lose.
That's Media 101. What about the Phillies? So, we just saw the loss of Zach Wheeler for the rest of the season, which is really tough for them. They have a great rotation anyway, but what do you think about their chances?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's a real punch in the gut. Just because as good as he's been, he's just a steady Eddie. Especially in the playoffs, you just know what you're going to get when Wheeler goes out there, and he's the guy. And there's nobody. If I got a playoff game, I need to win. There's nobody I would rather have out there than Zach Wheeler, and so that sucks. A guy like that goes down, and but they have the guys that can step in and pick him up. Sanchi's having an incredible year. Nola's back, getting healthy. And you got Ranger, who's also been really steady in the postseason. So you got guys that just need to step up and take over that role, and they have the guys that can do it. And then you got a banging offense, and now you got Durant coming in with the spy entrance, and so you don't want to get to the ninth when being down. And
all right, so Blue Jays Phillies World Series, who are you rooting for?
That'd be electric. That would be electric.
It would be amazing. It was 93, right, when they had the last one?
Yeah,
it was here. He hit a home run in that series. It worked out.
It'd be good. I wouldn't have a rooting interest, but
You're such a liar.
Well, Philly did boo me more than Toronto did.
The boo meter.
But I still have friends that I talk to daily on both teams, and that would be the see, and probably get tickets pretty easily to those games. So
that's true.
I would enjoy that.
Did you see the motivating pregame speech from Rob Manfred a few weeks ago?
I heard about it. I was getting filled in. I was getting filled in a little bit last night about it. Yikes! I really wish I could have hung on another year and just to be a part of that, just to have heard that. But
historic. What do you think about the commissioner coming in for a conversation like that before a game during the season?
Yeah, I mean, I know Rob's trying to mend the bridges of player relations and trying to get in better graces with some of the players. And I don't know if, a lot of, especially an older team like Philly, so those guys are so routine oriented. I don't know if pregame is the best time to do it, but when else are you going to be? Is everybody going to be together? So I get it in that sense.
Did he do that though, or any years that you were playing? He would come pregame for one meeting.
Yep.
And how did it go?
Not as bad as that.
What was he saying? Was he saying, "Hey, I want to make the relationship better," or was he getting into topics where guys were like, "Okay, this is collective bargaining right before we're gonna play a game"?
Yeah, that's how it started. Just hey guys, I'm here to we gotta. This last CBA didn't go well. I want it to be better. I want better relationship with the players, which I agree with. Needs to be better.
Sure.
Now I think they're closer to the CBA, so there might be more conversation of this is what we want, and this is why we think it's important for our game, and this is what the ownership wants, and so this is what's gonna happen. And certain teams you can say that to. The Philadelphia Phillies are not that team, and I think they made it known that we're gonna stand by what we want, and you're not gonna come in here and say anything different to us in our clubhouse, especially.
All right, let's finish with the golf game.
Mm-hmm.
So size up the competition here.
Good sticks here.
Really good.
Good
right?
sticks
Would you
here.
send me your handicap was plus 0.3?
It got in the plus finally, yeah.
So now, but there's some dudes here that are like plus 3.
There's some dudes here that are a different level. But it's like Mulder said, keep it in play. It's who's going to make the most putts. There's a couple tight holes and a couple holes you can try to take advantage of, and only real trouble is if you get a little squirrely off the tee. But apparently the greens are running really fast today, and just try to hit fairways, hit greens, and make a couple putts.
Are you trying to win? Or are you trying to finish like top 10 so you don't embarrass yourself? Or are you really trying
I'm trying to
win?
hit a good tee ball on one.
And that's it?
That's our focus right
shock,
now. That's our focus right now. Look, I got my
One
mental
shot at a
coach
time.
walking
When
me
you called
through
your
it.
wife and you said, honey, I'm going to the pro. And she said, why? And then you said, because I'm trying to win? Or did you say, because I'm trying not to embarrass myself?
I'm trying to win. I'm always trying to win.
Okay.
I'm always trying to win. I've said before, I am so much more confident in my golf game than my golf game reflects. I think I'm so much better than I am at golf. I'm okay, but
He dressed the part nicely.
He does.
That's half the battle,
True.
So it's the conversation with the wife was good, except for the fact that when I get home, I turn around and go to South Carolina's kickoff game against Virginia Tech, which she didn't quite know about till later on in the conversation.
Did you see the SEC football thing on Netflix?
I sure did.
Did you like the way Beamer was portrayed, the coach at South Carolina?
He's Beamer. He's full of energy. He's always on, and he's the perfect college football coach. And I'm glad he's on our side.
Wow,
love
that
Shane.
sounds like a fan.
How is he
I
portrayed?
love Shane.
No, he's I don't want to say, he came across as kind of
Yeah, how did you? All right, so as a non-fan, how did you view him?
he came across as kind of hokey, which is Virginia Tech. I know he's from he played there. You know what I'm saying?
But it's authentic.
That's like I don't know
authentic.
because I don't know him. But when you watch the Vanderbilt coach, he's like
Yeah.
like run through a wall guy, and then you see Beamer, and Beamer is oh shucks, oh no, and which was cool seeing his family and how he I love that he has his son there and his wife is all in it, but his wife's like, oh, if we lose, I don't leave the house for a week. Like, all right, I get it, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's the reason so he was on staff with Spurrier when I was in school actually, and when we fired Muschamp, Coach Tanner, who was my college coach, was the AD and was trying to interview all these coaches. And the players, that was when we were really good. We had Clowney, we had Patrick DeMarco, who's here. We were winning 10 games a year. All those guys came forward and said, this is the guy. This is who we need. And when you have guys, all the players love him. And it just shows, players know if the coach is full of crap or not. And he's just a genuine dude, and he'll do anything for you. And he's a great coach. And God, I can't wait for football to start. But come on now.
Soon. By the way, you know what it took for South Carolina to be good?
A
Gator to coach.
A game-winning hit.
A Gator to coach the football.
There's always
Then they became decent.
There's always a Gator joke.
Well, I mean,
Spurrier
up
like that.
You just said it. It took Spurrier to go there to make them decent.
Yeah. And then it took a Bulldog to come in and wreck it.
Yeah, see,
Muschamp.
look what he did at Florida. Same thing. Exactly. But is Sellers good? Is he going to win the Heisman?
Yeah.
And he's the quarterback.
He's going to win the Heisman.
Wow. He's going to wear the glasses.
They put contacts in. Everybody was freaking out last year, but it actually improved his game. So it just depends on the skill guys around him. If we stay healthy, his O-line's gotten better. Skill guys are the question mark. Sellers is the real deal. Okay. Can't wait. Columbia.
I love Whit saying "we" about the football team that he's on.
We, baby.
But is there anybody here at the Pro that you're excited to meet that you haven't met yet?
I got to meet Vince Carter. I got to see Vince Carter. I actually met him in Orlando 2 years ago, but I'm a huge basketball fan, even though he played in Carolina. North Carolina. Sorry, not Carolina. He played, and Vince is just a stud. So. There you go. All right. Well,
good luck, man.
Go get your putts, please. You're so worried.
I like that. Football at the finish line to get him pumped up. At MGM, lock it up and throw away the key. We lost.
I feel like that's. I don't know. Is that right? Sometimes we have to check now.
Yeah. Sometimes we have to check.
I know I lost because Cleveland got smacked in Austin Hedges' pitch. So that means I definitely lost.
The Royals got smacked by the White Sox.
White Sox are hot, baby. I told you not to bet against them.
7-0. Well, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to start today.
You're betting the Royals.
Royals run line. First time I think ever that I go same bet back-to-back days.
Who's pitching?
I don't care. I looked this morning.
How's that working out for Papelbon?
Actually, he's up on the year, so not terrible.
But he went away from the White Sox.
He did go away from the White Sox. They are playing better ball. They're still bad. Michael Lorenzen on the mound against Martin Perez.
Ooh, Martin. He's been good since he came back.
Yeah. I'll take the Royals plus 140, the run line.
Right.
Bounce back tonight, and I'll go 200 to win 480? 280.
Wow.
280.
Look at you.
I like that.
AJ, ready to go?
I'm ready. Hunter Brown over 6.5 punchies against the Rockies, and Mackenzie Gore over 5.5 against the Yankees. Both these teams strike out in the 5 highest. The Rockies and the Yankees strike out the top 5 highest teams in baseball as a team, meaning they strike out the most per team as batters. And Mackenzie Gore can get some punch outs. Hunter Brown can get some punch outs, especially at home. They got that weird batter's eye thing that everyone complains about, so I think they're both going to get a lot of punch outs. That gets me to plus 194.
Erik Kratz.
We go Jesus Luzardo and Sean Manaea, both over 5.5 Ks. Both have faced each other, have faced division teams, and it's coming out at plus 170. Looking for over 5.5 Ks from Jesus Luzardo and Sean Manaea. Getting some extra buzzing from on site. The pro is sounding a little buzzy. Maybe it's one of those bugs that's trying to attack Scotty Braun.
Time, Kratz. Do I sound lovely now?
Much better. Sounded buzzy
Nice.
before. Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. I got rid of the bugs. Raleigh, 50 homers. Operation
MVP.
63.
You heard it. You heard it here first. I said I've been saying it for a long time
We
now.
know that. Give me something else.
He's got the all-time record for homers. He's chasing down Mickey Mantle for the most home
All-time
runs
record
by
for a catcher for homers.
catcher.
But yes.
And then he's chasing down Mickey Mantle for the all-time homers for switch hitter.
Mhm.
The biggest question is, can he beat Judge? Can he get to 63? I mean, he had 2 yesterday, or 2 days ago, 1 yesterday. He's feeling it. I don't know. Would I love to see it? Absolutely. Big dumper.
That one went a long way, Kratz.
Man, you go upstairs there. That's big time. There's some upper decks that are tough to get to. He went about 8 rows up in the upper tank there. That was a bomb. And to me, it's really a matter of what number you think he's not going to reach. Is he going to catch Aaron Judge? He's going to break Mickey Mantle's switch hitter record. I think he's going to break the catching record. I think it was Javi Lopez. We said it yesterday. And then you're going to start getting into the Ken Griffey Jr. Will he beat the great Ken Griffey Jr.? He'll never go down as the great Cal Raleigh, but
Why not? Why can't he?
Why not?
What do you mean? Why can't he?
nobody
He is the great Cal
compared
Raleigh.
to Ken Griffey Jr.? No.
Platinum glove?
Yeah, he's
Platinum
just as
glove,
cool.
home runs. I mean, Cal Raleigh's got a chance if he continues. I mean, he's got a chance to be one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, Griffey
Just signed a
only swung
long-term
from
deal?
one side of the plate too.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
got a long-term
pass swings
deal.
from
Like, he's
both
got a chance
sides.
to be great.
The kid
No
versus the
way
dumper.
he will be up there with Ken Griffey Jr. No way.
Oh, yeah.
He could have
we
a
can
Hall,
say
he
is
could have a
Griffey,
Hall of
but-
Fame career, but Ken Griffey Jr. The thing is, everybody sees this as like a one-year thing from Cal Raleigh in the sense that, like, wow, he really burst on the scene. He has so many home run records through the first, I don't know how many games of his career as a Mariner. You're talking about dudes that have hit a lot of home runs in Seattle's history, and he's been breaking those records coming up to this year, and now he's got 50 this year. He was the fastest to, I think, 80 or 90 home runs. He was the fastest to 100 home runs. He was the first, switch hitter. He's been doing this for a long time. The difference is now he's hitting it, doing it on a playoff team, and his batting average is over 250.
I'll read you the quote because it was fun. And when you're this good all year, you want to try and switch it up.
Yeah.
Don't just say, yeah, it's going well. Like, he's often given us some fun quotes. So we saw the Sarah Lang's stat on most home runs in a season by a primary catcher.
Yep.
Almost there.
Yep.
Here's the quote. He said, "It doesn't seem real. I mean, 50 home runs, it's kind of a crazy number to think of. I thought I was a cool player when I hit 5 home runs when I was young in high school or something. You hit 5, you had all this power in the world. So it's just crazy." Like, oh, hey.
Good for him.
That's
But by
kid
the
in
way,
school
when we
who's
talk
got
about-
5 dingers.
But we talk about, like, him versus Griffey. Listen, we're not saying he's going to be better than Griffey. What we're saying is he's got a chance as one of the all-time Mariner greats
Mhm.
if he keeps up what he's doing. We're not saying he's going to take place because we don't want anybody saying, oh, they're saying Cal Raleigh's going to be better. No, he's not going to be better than Ken Griffey Jr. What we're saying is he's got a chance to go down, if he continues this, to go down as one of the Mariner all-time greats.
He signed up
I
for
agree.
long term. I was doing this math the other day. Kratz, you know how front offices will try and put a number to how many wins you're worth, your wins. So he's over 7. He's almost the exact same as Judge if you look at Fangraphs. And some of the people who are looking at MVP are like, see now, I'm like, okay. Even if he was 6.8 and Judge was 7.2, you're allowed to vote for Cal Raleigh over Judge. It's not most WAR for most valuable player. But anyway, I digress. If you think one win is worth $7 million, which is, I think, somewhat conservative, then he's a $50 million player this year.
Yeah, 7 million is an old number. I think it's actually 7.6 now. Is the last thing I read. $50 million player.
I've seen it all the way up to 10ish, but I'm saying like let's go on the lowest end that I've seen 7.
Yeah, but that's
7
not
times
true.
7 is 49. He's a $50 million
That's not really
player.
right either, because guys, that's not true. So let's start with that, because it's not true.
But this is what front offices.
But you don't get paid off $10 million because there's a rookie kid out there, whoever it is, the rookie of the year. Paul Skeens is making league minimum or whatever it is, and he's whatever his
going
war
over
is.
that. My point is that if it was a complete free market, one win, according to many front offices, is at least $7 million. So Cal Raleigh, who just signed that 6-year $100, is already hitting up half that contract worth of value in one season.
Not a good comment.
Okay, whether we're arguing about
so you're
how
saying
much
he's worth
it so ridiculous?
Because he's not worth because great, one win is worth it. Okay, so then why don't they do this at the next bargaining agreement? You just get paid off your WAR. I bet you the WAR numbers will change real quick. You get paid only off your WAR. So if you're a 3 WAR player and you're in your second year, you get $30 million.
I'm just going.
You know how quickly that would change?
Yes, I'm going
exactly.
off analysis.
So don't give me that one WAR is worth this and that, because all teams don't. First of all, there's more than one example of WAR. So there's one F WAR, B WAR, C WAR, D WAR, E WAR. Who gives a crap about WAR? Yeah, I mean, listen, but teams don't pay off that. So don't give me that WAR is worth this much or this much. It's not, because it's not. You don't know how you get paid.
Can I ask you a question about Cal Raleigh's production this year? If I could tell you, hey, you could find this production from this player, how much would you pay for him for one season on a contending team? What would his season be worth? And how much playoff value?
1 year deal? A 1 year deal? Probably
ballpark?
25 to 30 million for 1 year.
That's it?
Going into it because they don't know it's coming.
No. If I'm saying, you're going to get the best catcher, I'm giving you the stats in advance and say, what is this worth to you for one season? Isn't it worth $50 million?
They wouldn't pay that, though.
I know they wouldn't pay that.
So then it's not worth that.
In a vacuum, what is this season
It's not worth that then.
Why can't we play this game?
Because it's not a real game. It's not realistic.
I can't have any fun here, Kratz.
No, because it's not realistic.
You won't
it's
even
not
let me get a
game.
drink.
It's not a realistic thing.
No.
I'm an adult.
I'm going to get you some onions, okay?
It's realistic. It's realistic because if it were up to the owners, they would love 1 year contracts. Okay. If you're going to pay guys 1 year contracts, you're going to have to give out a $60 million contract, because Aaron Judge will be worth $60 million after this year. Cal Raleigh, when he finishes this season, in their mind, will be worth $60 million this year. So it's a realistic question that Scott put out there, because teams don't want to give out these long contracts. Even this extension, 6 years, 105, that with a vesting option for Cal Raleigh. Well, they're picking that up unless he gets hurt, and they would have to pay this. So I agree with you. And yes, the number is 50 to 60 million. If you know you're getting this production from the catching position, the Dodgers would pay 50 to 60 million dollars.
Then why did Juan Soto, right?
Yeah.
Just not sign 1 year deals the whole time?
No. You guys are getting too realistic with my
because I'm a realist. I play in the real world. I don't play in fantasy
hat
land.
Off, your CBA hat
I don't
off.
play
I just
in
wanted
fantasy
to
land.
know if you're in fantasy land and I say, hey, we have a catcher available for your contending team. You need a catcher. These are the numbers you're going to get. How much money would you pay?
And by the way, he is on a contending team, so
I know that. I know he's on a contending team.
So all your arguments are null and void.
You're ball busting to the highest degree.
No, I'm being honest.
There are golf balls flying everywhere right now. I'm just saying, like, how much would you pay for him, right? You're running a franchise.
How much did he sign for?
Who cares?
No, not who cares. How much did he sign for?
6 years, 105 on his
Perfect. That's what I
extension,
pay.
but that
That's
includes
exactly what I
art years
pay.
and stuff.
Great. That's exactly what I pay.
Scott, since you're not getting anywhere, I agree with you. Yes, I would pay $50 to $60 million for a year that you know you're getting 50 plus homers from the catching position. The real question is, because we talked early in the show about Royce Lewis, how much of that contract that he signed, that Cal Raleigh signed before the year, helped dictate this season, helped him do what he's doing. Because to hit home runs, everybody will tell you, no matter what your swing change is or not, you got to catch the ball out front. To catch the ball out front, you might swing and miss at a few more pitches. Now he's catching the ball out front from the left side and the right side. Maybe that contract allowed him to relax a little bit and not worry so much about the narrative that the Mariners strike out so much. And maybe that enabled him to become a better hitter because he has $105 million coming to him and doesn't have to play for his contract.
No
doubt about
fantasy land.
No doubt about it. Even in fantasy land, we call that bleep it mode, where it's like you're just going out there to have a good time and do whatever
feels win.
best.
Don't say that because he wants to win and he wants to do well. So don't say he's just going out there saying bleep it.
No.
He's not worried about what the offseason is going to look like.
Okay.
He's just worried about what's going to help the team win.
So then he's worth 6 years, $105 million. That's exactly what he's worth.
Didn't you play with some guys who would go out on the field and feel like real tense and like, I have to prove every single second of what I'm doing here? And then some guys that were like, hey, I'm playing free and easy, and it's leading to more
success. A lot of times guys, when they sign contracts, do worse the first year because they're trying to live up to the contract.
Hey, they don't always all work, too. I mean, Lawrence Butler's having a really down year compared to what he did last year, but it's a long-term deal, and A's aren't in playoff range anyway. But Cal Raleigh,
I call it
$58.5 million is his worth, according to AJ Pierzynski, if you could buy that statistical production for one season.
Exactly what I said.
You heard it here first.
I live in the real
I just
world.
wanted to come up with a different way to hype up how valuable he's been.
He's very valuable, but you know what? They signed him to a deal, and he's happy with the deal, so that's how much he's worth.
I'm not crapping on the deal. I'm just saying he is extremely valuable, and I wanted to try and put a number
He's the MVP of the American League.
He is the MVP. You've heard it here since what? May?
I've been saying it for a long time.
At least since
June.
May. Yeah, I would say May. Anyway, let's take a break. When we come back, slap hands. We're going to show you a pretty cool card collection from someone on our team, like the FT team. There are your locks of the day for the three of us. There's a dude with a drone right in front of us. Did you see the drone guy?
No,
Look,
but I saw a ball almost hit us.
Was it a ball or a drone?
No, it was a ball right there.
Okay. Let me just give everyone what they need to know, and then we can come back here and just have some fun for a minute and a half.
They ain't even yelling
for
it.
The TV crowd back. Swing big on your next MLB parlay. Use the Parlay Boost token in your BetMGM account to score a bigger payout if your baseball parlay hits. Gambling problem or concern? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Bring it back. Let's see if we can catch the drone.
It's right there.
Where? Oh, nice.
Why are drones
they
so
ain't
cool?
Kratzy, they ain't even yelling for us. They're hoping after Scott's last take that he gets hit in the head.
Drones are so cool. Drones are so cool.
I have a drone. You want mine?
I love
Trevor
drones.
Bauer has one.
Watch your fingers.
Remember? Didn't he slice his finger open trying to fix his drone?
Let's see what Brian McCann does here live with the drone watching.
All right, let's get your play-by-play.
A lot of waggles.
For 1 minute here before the
125 out. Righty. Right-handed. Oh, here it comes. Incoming. There goes the drone. Right at the flag. Pretty good shot by B-Mag. Oh!
Wow.
Ooh, that's... Dude. Oh, it went in! No way! It went in! No way, Eagle! No way! No way! Now you got to come on our show! You have to come on!
That is epic live.
No way. Just freaking made an eagle.
That was crazy. We're on 18.
Yes.
How many feet or how many
yards? That was about 125-ish.
125?
Maybe a little farther than that, actually. 150-ish?
Incredible.
Wow.
Cool. That was fun to watch live.
Now we got B-Mac. He's got Brian McCann. That was Brian McCann, by the way.
Lynx territory.
Don't be afraid.
Lit.
Don't be afraid, McCann. One time. Come on.
I've just told him he has to now.
Josh Donaldson will be on tomorrow's show, by the way.
Yeah.
Probably Brian McCann, too.
Yeah. Wow.
Slap hands coming up.
Now you have to come on. We watched the whole thing.
Let's slap. So for the TV crowd, I'll tell you what happened in just a second. I want to show this card collection from our intern, Katie,
that was so
who
cool.
just finished her
That was so
internship
awesome.
program. Hey, Brian McCann right here. We're on live TV, so just be careful.
That was so awesome. That was so awesome. That was so awesome.
That was good.
Let's see what he does with the drone. And now we got Millar. Can we see
you
Millar behind
heard
us?
he heard the
Oh, we can't see.
play-by-play?
Yeah, he heard it.
Wow.
Kevin
Wait,
Millar is
move-
live behind us, by
Move
the
for
way.
the last minute of the show. We'll see if we can show it.
He's got a
Where
tough,
are you?
tough cart mate to get after.
Can people see that?
No, but it's not bad. Little short. Little short, Kev. If that would have been the best card of all time.
That is crazy.
Oh,
All right, that was fun. There is real good golf going on behind us at the Pro. We're overlooking 18. Brian McCann
made eagle 130.
During the
He was
commercial
130
break
by the
for
way.
the TV crowd. He nailed it from 130. Eagled 18.
That is not Brian
What's
McCann's
that?
ball. That is the ball earlier that went between my legs and ended up behind the box, which was ruled out of bounds.
Yeah, we are in a
We're in
minor danger zone.
We're in striking
Yeah.
zone here.
It's not a code red, but it's probably a yellow.
Yeah.
So
Well,
just
Millar's
Had to
ball
play
just
it
went
off
through
of
the tree behind us.
Frankenstein's fat foot.
That's right.
By the way, we're all over the place, but our intern Katie, that book she keeps of cards is everybody that was on the show during her internship plus the hosts. And so she's got nameplates for anyone she's missing still, but she's been collecting the cards of everyone. I thought that was cool.
That's cool. I didn't see that
There
because
it
I was
is.
talking to
That's super
T-Mac.
cool. Props to
That is
Katie.
good.
That's
That
a
is
cool
awesome.
project during the summer. I really like that. She sent that to us on her way out, finishing up the program, and we were like, hey, we got to show that. She said, go for it. So thanks, Katie. Anyway, big show tomorrow. Josh Donaldson, maybe Brian McCann. We're going to talk to Tony Romo on the Pro YouTube channel. We'll see you tomorrow.